Hey everybody, welcome back to New JANG City. A handful of videos ago, I don't remember exactly how many, I angled the camera down over here beneath the tables, as I'm about to do again momentarily, and pointed at what's eventually going to be my cyberpunk themed space. Not Cyberpunk 2077, the game that is tens of hours of memes and bugs and glitches, but just Cyberpunk, the IP-free theme, just that general style, that general visual style for things. And because that is an area that, unlike the rest of this city, I have specifically assigned to basically all of you to be completely viewer driven, I asked again, well, what would you like me to do, like next down here? Well, with the exception of a handful of custom things, most of what's down here is just Lego sets and pieces of Lego sets. So it doesn't really look like a cyberpunk area at all yet. Needs a lot of work. I mean, obviously the cyberpunk Death Star is a major exception to that, but I need to extend that. I need to fill this up. There's a lot that needs to be done. So I just kind of threw it out there as like, hey, what would anybody like to see me do next? And I got a lot of very specific feedback and a lot of very specific requests to start converting these vehicles. It's kind of low-hanging fruit, right? It's right there, and they're super obvious exactly what they are. Okay, I changed out the tire colors for this one, but other than that, okay, that is actually slightly customized, but none of these vehicles really fit in here. So a lot of you asked that I just start taking on little projects to convert some of those over to make them look a little bit more appropriate for the area. Appreciate that. Your wish is my command with this space down here, so I have started, and I've done one conversion. Let me take you to Studio A to show it to you. Right, so this started out as just a regular Lego City bus from the 2017 bus station set, which basically just came with the bus and a small little bus stop area. And it was perfectly fine as a Lego City set. I mean, I had some small issues with it, but overall it was pretty good, Definitely pretty sizable and shows good access, or showed good access for minifigures to get in. And I tried to simply mod it, not use it as a little bit of inspiration and then build something entirely new from there. I actually tried to keep as many of the original pieces as reasonably possible. I took a handful off, but I tried not to start just changing everything. I didn't want it to take a tremendous amount of time. I wanted to get this done because I have a bunch of vehicles that need to be done, and I want to get the process going, get some real momentum. So the very first thing that I did was to swap the axle configuration, put the two axles up front and then the single one at the back. It was fairly easy to do, at least in terms of, thinking about it. And from there, started doing some small changes to the interior and to the floor of it, to how it's actually built, to give myself more room to mess around with the interior design, and also just to have less stuff connected to the exterior so I could more quickly change out parts. And then after that, I changed some of the cladding. So it actually looks lower to the ground now because I've been able to take a lot of it down lower. Change things out here with the front of it just to make it look a little bit less pedestrian, a little bit less current. So instead of having the headlight cheese slopes, that's all just been kind of smoothed over. These are intended to be like sensors for some automatic lane keeping and pedestrian detecting, and it's intended to have just really high intensity discharge LEDs for lights, and then the indicators are up top. I don't know what the rail is supposed to be over here on the side. It's just something where I put in some brackets, and I was like, I want something linear and gray, not going with the color scheme. Started adding that on, messed around with it a little bit. Don't know what this is supposed to be either. These things up top are, of course, supposed to be related to communications and a little bit of power transfer. Again, everything is a good deal lower, so pedestrian access is actually better on this. There's more headroom inside. There's more room for passengers in general. So it actually has been improved from a practical perspective for the figures. Also changed out the wheels. They were just regular light gray before, and I did have enough green ones to put in there. I think that makes it look more odd, more different. One thing that I wish I had done, I'm not going to follow up and do it right now because this is more than fine for my purposes for now. But in my mind, I kind of had an idea of a little bit more gray cladding, stuff kind of pasted onto it back here to make that just a little bit more bulky. That's probably just a type of thing that I'll try to do on a future conversion for a different vehicle at some point. But this used to have a window around the back, so it's been sealed off on the sides, and then just has this piece, which I think came from a Star Wars set, that 6 wide roof piece. I don't remember exactly what it was. Had to get some power conduits on there. That was pretty important to me. And then it actually does have more seating available, and it's set up, I think, decently well. So I've got space for I also changed. I kept mostly the original figures that came with the set, and just changed them out a little bit to modify them to make them seem like they fit in a little bit better. She actually had been down there. Oh, there we go. A little bit flatter, so a little bit turned, but that's the general idea. So, you can put a person down there in a wheelchair and have pedestrians standing, and then I've got like the stairs up. Oh, that piece is not actually pushed down all the way. There we go. Now it is. Yeah, I got the stairs going up towards the back, and I've got stairs going up towards the front. So those work out better. Consistent spacing there. And then there are 3 seats. 3 seats right there for passengers, and then there's room for passengers to stand as well. And all that has keeps falling out. All that has more headroom in there. So yeah, it just works out a little bit better. And I'm kind of going with this theme of using those metallic heads from the Lego movie to kind of show stand-ins in this world, in its story. And you'll see this on multiple vehicles over time. People are fine with autonomous vehicles, driverless vehicles, but they're not fine with being in a vehicle, being transported by a vehicle that appears to not have a driver in it. So basically the companies that handle transit have decided to just put robots in that look humanoid, which just generally makes people feel better, makes people feel more safe, even though they know it's a robot, 100%. And it's not actually doing any steering, doesn't need to even be there. It just makes people feel better. So just continuing with that theme because I started it. Changed out some colors here in the front. It was pretty colorful with the dash and everything, but still have the coffee cup there and all. And that's just it. So this is considered done, at least for now. I'm not going to mess with it at all for hopefully quite a long time. I'm going to move on to other vehicles and do more conversions. Some conversions will certainly be more significant than this, or at least I so hope. But I feel like this is at least enough to get things going in the right direction. And yeah, I'm just going to roll right into it. Roll. Convert some more vehicles and keep you up to date. So if you have any further suggestions, again, the cyberpunk district of my city, underneath the city, is intended to be fully a viewer-driven area. So this is the place to get your suggestions in. The rest of the city is all for me, about my creativity and things that I want to do. But this whole area, this is all for y'all. I will take your direction constantly and consistently. So keep the feedback coming if you would like to, and I'll keep working on it. Talk to you again soon.